Assassin's Creed Shadows is dead on arrival, ladies and gentlemen. It's being completely obliterated after they showed the gameplay showcase. I guess it's like a walkthrough that showed literally walking and some light combat mechanics, if you want to call that, and some interesting tone deaf choices by Ubisoft. Who's Ubisoft making video games for at this point? Are they making video games for gamers? I don't think so. I think they're making video games for themselves. All these weird woke community managers that are hating on white men in all their tweets, and then they go protected tweets, and then you see all sorts of weird, vile stuff from them all over their social medias. It's just disgusting to look at. Then you see this weird decision for them to have Yusuke as the protagonist for Assassin's Creed Shadows. And I know I probably butchered that name because Japanese names are pretty tricky for me. Is it Yasuke? Yasuke? I don't care, because you have an Assassin's Creed taking place in Japan, and instead of getting an actual Japanese male, you went ahead and decided to go with a person of color just to be diverse. That's the whole reason why they did it. And I know there's some defenders for this game. That's cool and all. I hope this game is every single thing that you want. I hope you enjoy it. But for me, when you look at how a lot of these Ubisoft community managers have been interjecting their political agendas in every single thing they do, how they hate white men and male gamers at that. You don't even have to be white at this point. They all have this weird mentality. They're political activists that are disguised as community managers. And on top of that, we've seen internal documents from Ubisoft. We've seen internal documents from various companies, not just Ubisoft, but this whole diversity initiative that they're all trying to shoehorn into everything, right? It's almost like a South Park joke at this time. It's almost like a South Park joke. But speaking of South Park jokes, the biggest tone deaf decision that they had when it comes to Assassin's Creed Shadows is in the combat trailer, or the segment with combat in the trailer. They play hip-hop music. Is this just because Yasuke is black? You're forgetting he's from ancient Japan. There was no rap music, Americanized rap music at that. He's not an African American. He's just African. So you're putting racial stereotypes in the game when you're claiming to be diverse, and then all these wokies want to be breaking stereotypes where there's gender or racial stereotypes. They always want to break it. But guess what? You're literally putting stereotypes of black men in your video game just to have them in there. Why? Why didn't you make this historically accurate? Yeah, Yasuke was a historical figure in Japan, but they're embellishing him quite a bit for this story. Yeah, maybe he had a little bit of a cool of a story and stuff like that, but they're changing history just a little bit, and I don't care if you want to get into a debate about his actual historical accuracy in this game. Ubisoft has done a good job portraying people from like Cleopatra to Benjamin Franklin and others in previous Assassin's Creed video games. But for this one, fuck it. All bets are off. We're just going to go super woke with this. We're going to make Yasuke the next coming of Christ, and we're going to have hip-hop music in it. So the trailer, yeah, it looked like your pretty standard Assassin's Creed game, which for the most part, they've been pretty good. But I just can't get behind how much of the stuff we're being force-fed into this. And apparently other people can't either, because if you look at any of the gameplay trailers, not just from one YouTube channel, but from several of them, you will see that this is being mass disliked. Take a look at this. This is from Ubisoft itself. It has 1.3 million views, uploaded 3 days ago, and it's getting obliterated with 45,000 likes, 65,000 dislikes. And if we go to the comments section, we can see there's a smorgasbord of content here. Just look at the first comment right here. There's no way they gave Yasuke hip-hop music, bro. Ubisoft really mugged to the camera and said, that one's for you, black people. Laugh out loud. God. Look at the next one. Is Ubisoft aware that Yusuke is African, not African-American? What's with the hip-hop music? Ain't no way they gave the black samurai a hip-hop combat beat. It's like a South Park joke come to life. Did an AI make the dialogue? It's painful to listen. You can just look right here. Remember, never pre-order Ubisoft games. You hate to see it because it's like they're just... Who are they making this for? Who are they making this game for? And then here's some Japanese comments. Let's see if we could translate it. We were planting rice when the cherry blossoms were in full bloom, and Yusuke said it's a good harvest. When is this season? It's so ridiculous that it gives me a headache. So the Japanese people are shitting on it in the comments. And I've seen like on Twitter, various Japanese fans and gamers and outlets, they're shitting on this. It's almost like I said, Ubisoft is just making this for themselves. They want this weird wokeness push into it. And yeah, maybe it's going to be a great game. Maybe it's going to have great gameplay. In all fairness, I'll play devil's advocate. This is just a early gameplay trailer. We still have a couple months until it actually comes out. So things could change. They might take out the hip-hop music. Maybe that was a placeholder. Maybe not. I doubt it. I think with how we're seeing stuff injected into it, this was meant on purpose, and whoever made this game is completely tone deaf. Because again, it's somebody from ancient feudal Japan, not some dude down the street that's listening to hip hop in the United States of America. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other trailers. This one's from the PlayStation channel. You can see that it's sitting at 6.8K likes, 11K dislikes. Holy smokes! With 168,000 or 160,819 views, I mean. And again, I have a feeling Ghost of Tsushima will still be the best samurai game ever. The seasons are mixed. Cherry blossoms, rice planting, and persimmons are not in the same season. Bro dresses like a Christmas tree in ancient Japan. Reminder that Ubisoft will discount this game 50% after a month. Wait for a sale. Is it just me, or does the frame rate look like it drops to 30 FPS after the combat starts? So people are just trashing it. Let's look at the next one. This is from Game Clips, which is an unofficial website, I guess. But you can see 1.4K likes to 4.3K dislikes. And again, Ghost of Tsushima, the best assassin game. The hip-hop when the big guy starts fighting. Laugh out loud. Can't believe they actually put hip-hop drums in the soundtrack for Yusuke. They fucking put trap music in it. It's just... super freaking tone deaf. Let's look at the IGN website. We got 1.4K likes to 2.7K dislikes. So there's definitely a pattern here. There's definitely a pattern here where people are not feeling it with this game. And again, people are tired of it. I don't care what you say, what you try to preach, how much you're hiding back tears saying that this game is going to be great. I just can't stomach how tone deaf they're getting when they come to all their releases at this point. It's almost like a joke. It's almost like game companies, not just Ubisoft, but game companies aside, are just like, how can we make this next game so much more terrible and want people to hate on it? And maybe you could be like, oh, that's their plan. This is free publicity. They got grifters, alt-right grifters crying about it and crying all about the stupid stuff that's so pointless. No, it's literally a agenda that's pushed, okay? There's companies like Sweet Baby Inc. There's companies that consult these companies that make video games, these developers, to fill out check boxes. We need LGBTQ represented. We need people of color. We need to change this character. We need to make them this. We need to do that. Instead of just focusing on making great games. Now, in the past, I've liked Ubisoft games. They sent me a few in the past to review. I liked Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I thought it was a fantastic game that had a lot of content in it, but this one just seems like it's not it. I even liked Mirage. I would even say that I like Mirage, but this one, I don't know what they're thinking with it. It's like they changed their focus to focus on political stuff, political commentary, just nonsense that nobody honestly gives a shit about. And I don't know why, but it's not good. And nobody likes it. You can see these dislikes. And the original trailer to the game was one of the most disliked trailers of all time for a game, as well as the most disliked Assassin's Creed trailer, ever. And they still haven't gotten a clue. They couldn't buy Clue if they were on Wheel of Fortune at this point. And you hate to see a company that has had success in the past just not have the right answers. It's like... there's somebody there approving of this stuff. They sat in a boardroom and said, hey, we have a black samurai. Let's give him hip-hop music. Somebody sat in a boardroom and fucking approved that. Think about how asinine that is to really sit down and just think about the ridiculousness of it. Why couldn't we just get something cool? Ghost of Tsushima hit it right on the head as far as historical accuracy goes. Yeah, you got to have a little bit of, I guess, wiggle room for fictional storytelling and creative stuff and things like that. But you can see that people aren't buying it right now. They're not picking up what Ubisoft is putting down. And I would like to think, and I don't want to see video game companies fail, and I want gamers to enjoy what they're playing as well. But I want them to make some changes. That's my personal opinion. It might be different for you guys, but I don't buy into progressive nonsense into our media, whether it's a video game, whether it's a movie, whether it's a television show. I don't buy into doing something just to do it. If it's a great game and it has a great story and the protagonist is actually a good character and it's not relying on just who they are as an identity, like, oh, this character's good because they are a person of color. This person's good because they are gay. I want it to be something that is good. When people are like, oh, it's games for modern audiences, what the fuck is a modern audience? I'm still trying to find it. It's like that John Travolta thing from Pulp Fiction where he's like, what's a modern audience? Because to me, it seems like whatever the modern audience is, they're definitely the minority, because a huge chunk of everything that's made for modern audiences is dislike bombed, review bombed, and totally gets met with tons of negative feedback. You would think that these video game companies and so forth take a look at it and decide maybe we shouldn't go this DEI route. But no, it just seems like a lot of times, even like with Activision just recently, they're double downing with it. And they're hiring the worst of the worst people that push these agendas, that try to push these initiatives and put certain, like, I guess, reward programs for the companies that do it. Like these companies literally do it to get reward points and clout points and assisted funding and all sorts of stuff. And it's like they're worried about the wrong thing, and instead of worried what they should worry about, and that's make video games, right? All we want is good video games. Do you? I think that's what we want. But you can see Assassin's Creed, everything about it, just getting completely trashed now with this game. And then on top of that, you got the pricing structure that people were pissed off about, where they're trying to charge $130 for like the special like super duper collector's deluxe whatever. No, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying that at all. That's way too overpriced for something that I feel we're not even fully aware of what the quality is. Just looking at this gameplay trailer, stuff seems a little iffy. Again, could be early gameplay, but even the NPCs seem wonky. They're standing around in the streets. Some of them are just there, like placeholder NPCs. The combat doesn't look that great. This is something that we're going to have to wait and see, especially with all the nonsense behind it, not just with the DEI stuff, but just overall how it seems like the quality of this game seems to be going on. So I'm going to leave it there, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below on this game getting completely dislike bombed every single where. Comment down below. Subscribe if you're brand new. I'd love to see you guys here again. I will check you on the next video. Y'all have a good day. Take care.